Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to the team call tonight. We have a special guest on the line, Angie Green, who is my upline star diamond coach. And Angie has been in the business, what now, for 6 years, 7 years, 6? Okay, 6 years, and she's been very successful with the business. She's been mentored by Christine Dwyer and Shalene Johnson. She worked for Shalene's company, Powder Blue Productions, before they were bought by Beachbody. So she's very close with the Johnsons and the Dwyers, and she's just been surrounded by some amazing women in her life and has a lot to share. So I totally look up to Angie and her success and all that she's done and just how she's built her business. So I'm excited for her to share her story so that you guys get to know her a little bit better. I know you know me as the leader of Team Triceps, but Angie really is the leader of Team Dynamite, which we're all also a part of. So Angie, I'm going to unmute you and I'll let you get started and you can take over.
Hi. Thank you so much, Sarah. And thanks you guys for having me on tonight. I really appreciate it. It's been so cool to watch Sarah kind of develop into, this tribe and this empire that she has built, and watching, Sarah, where you started in the beginning until now. I remember the early stages of your business too. And now I look where you're at now and how much you've grown, and it's just amazing. And I'm sure you would say the same thing about many of your team members, because we're all at different stages in our business. So I just want to kind of to share with you my journey and a little bit of my story. I'm not really going to give you a lot of information on how to grow your business or what to do. I'm just going to tell you my experience and what I've learned and some major concepts that have helped me along the way. And hopefully, something will just speak to you and you can connect with something. And you can always find me on Facebook too. It's facebook.com/Angie Green 11. Feel free to shoot me a message there and connect. Because I probably started out like many of you. I wasn't even in fitness to begin with. I was actually a speech language pathology major in college, my undergrad. And I fell in love with fitness at an early age, but I knew that I couldn't make a lot of money in fitness. At least I thought I couldn't. So in college, I just knew I wanted to make a lot of money. So I didn't know anything about speech therapy, but I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a speech therapist, because I knew I could make at least $40,000 a year. And at that time, I thought that was a pretty decent living. So regardless of, what I was really interested in, I just kind of accepted that as my major. Like, that's what I'm going to do with my life, because I know, I'll make a decent living. I just accepted it. And, graduated in that field and started dabbling more in the fitness industry because it's what I really loved. And my background was Group X. I started teaching that in college, and got married. Typical story. Had a baby. Got stuck on like the last 15 pounds of that extra baby weight after I had my son, and I accepted it. I was just like, oh, well, it is what it is. I'm always going to be 15 pounds heavier. And that's just the way that my body's going to be now. So after that, I discovered Turbo at the time in the gym, Turbo Kick, and I started teaching that. And that's what had a major impact on my life. I fell in love with that program, changed the shape of my body, researched the company, and decided that I wanted to work for Shalene. Auditioned for her to be a master trainer, flew out to California, went through this grueling audition for 4 days and started working for her, and just really fell in love with being able to train other instructors to be leaders in the fitness industry. And then over the next couple of years, I was working as a master trainer a little bit. Of course, financial burden, and that is typical with a lot of families, especially when you have only one parent who is working full time. That was me. And, family, anytime you add kids to a family, that always creates financial burden. So I definitely had some financial burdens. Around that same time, my son was diagnosed on the autism spectrum. I accepted the fact that I was having financial stress, and I accepted the fact that my son was diagnosed on the autism spectrum. I picked up another job. All of that obviously created financial stress in my marriage. And around the time I discovered coaching, I was just going through a separation and a divorce. So here I am, like always just accepting what is coming my way in my life. You know, a major in a field that I wasn't really passionate about, financial stress in my life, being overweight after having a baby, an unhappy marriage. I was just accepting all of this, like, it is what it is. I'm just going to accept it and I'm just going to deal with it. And so when Shalene presented the business opportunity to me, first of all, I thought she was crazy. You know, I was like, here I am dealing with my son who's newly diagnosed on the autism spectrum. I'm getting a divorce, you know, going to become a single mom. I had 3 jobs at the time, which included traveling around on the weekends and working for her, doing fitness certifications and working full-time and teaching fitness classes. So the thought of actually putting something else on my plate, obviously I was super skeptical, but I believe in her. Obviously, she's always been a great mentor to me. And she just said, I remember her telling me, this will change your life. And we say that all the time, but when it comes from somebody who's a mentor of yours and somebody who you believe in, it resonates with you more. And so I remember her saying, this is a gold mine. You need to take advantage of this opportunity. I know you've got a lot on your plate. I know you're going through a lot right now, but if you just trust the process and work with it, it will be the best decision you'll ever make for your future and your family. And I was like, okay, you know, sign me up, and signed up and became a coach and ordered some business cards and sold a few P90X programs. But aside from that, I didn't do anything with the business for about 4 months. And so about 4 months later, I got a phone call from Shalene, and she said, what is going on? Why aren't you going out there? Why aren't you inviting people? Why aren't you presenting the business? Build your tribe. And I was so defensive. You know, I was like, I'm busy. You know, I'm going through this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm working for you. And I remember she swore at me. She's like, that's bullshit. Because I saw you on Facebook last night on IM and you were on there for 20 minutes. What were you doing? You know, my response was, I was probably looking at pictures of people that I didn't know, you know, like scroll through the news feed. And so that was the first piece that really helped me change the direction of my business. It's not that I didn't have time, it's that I was spending it the wrong way. And I remember her saying to me, dude, if you have 20 minutes to look at photos of people you don't know, you know, you have 20 minutes to scroll through your newsfeed, you have 20 minutes that you can connect with people. So stop spending your time the wrong way and start spending it the right way, which is going to help you lead towards growth in your business. And I said, okay. So, you know, I just started 20 minutes a day. That was it. And I didn't really even dive into the business yet. I was just kind of getting my feet wet. And then the second piece that I picked up was personal development. And that was a second game changer for me. I started reading more about personal development. And through that, you guys, it taught me to stop accepting everything that was coming my way in my life. Things that were coming my way that I felt like were out of my control, or things that were coming at me that obviously made me unhappy. I wasn't settled in my life. And I started believing in myself and believing, you know what? I don't have to accept this for what it is. I have the ability to be in control of my life, in control of my future, in control of my destiny, my goals. And as long as I'm willing to do whatever it takes, I can build an amazing business for myself. So the more I started reading personal development and the more I started putting that to practice, that really started to have a huge impact on my business. So at the time, you know, dream boards were really big. That's one thing that we started doing in the beginning. And you guys might have done dream boards before, you know, so I remember, you know, working in our group with Christine Dwyer, who's my sponsor, and everybody's doing dream boards and they're doing like fancy cars and mansions and I want a boat. And they're like putting all these pictures up. And you know, money's great and money makes everything easier in your life. Let's face it. And fancy cars and houses are awesome. But I became so laser focused on what I wanted. I just put 3 words on my dream board: whatever it takes. That's the only thing I wrote on my board: whatever it takes. I made the decision I'm going to do whatever it takes to grow this business, of course, within reason. I had less than 300 friends on Facebook. I thought, you know what? I'm going to add friends, whatever it takes. I exhausted my list of everybody that I knew. Oh, well, I'm going to meet new friends, whatever it takes. I had no time. I gave up TV at night, whatever it takes. I just kept telling myself whatever it takes. And that's what I kept posting on the wall in my bedroom, because that's where I built my business for the first 3.5 years, was at night after my son went to bed, in my pajamas with my laptop, usually a glass of wine, just like working until I literally fall asleep. That's when I really dove in. Because once you get a little bit of taste of return on the business, we know there's a 90-day delay. So what we do right now might not pay off for 90 days. But keeping that focus in mind and telling myself whatever it takes really helped me just create consistency in my business, which helped so much. And the third thing that really helped me grow my business and lead towards success was I was super selfish. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Whatever I was dealing with in my life at the time, I thought, what do I need support in right now? Okay, so I'm going through a divorce and I'm going to become a single mom. I need that kind of support. I'm going to go out there and look for single moms groups. I'm going to look for groups of divorced women. My son recently diagnosed with autism. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to look for groups on Facebook who are full of parents who have kids on the spectrum. Whatever I was dealing with in my life, I was selfish. And I thought, I'm going to gear what I need support and direction in, and that's how I'm going to meet people. And it was perfect because I was getting support from other people. They were getting it from me. We were developing instant connections. And of course, we had something in common. And I made some of the closest friends that I have. I mean, that Colleen Arrington, who's a star diamond on our team, that's one of the things that we really had in common. When we met, she didn't teach fitness. I didn't know her through fitness. She was a fan of Chalene Johnson, and we instantly connected because her son was on the spectrum as well. So reach out to groups on Facebook that you need support with, or you need education with, or you need inspiration from, and find it there. I'll never forget when I really made the decision that I was going to grow this business and do whatever it takes. I gave up a lot. I gave up a lot of time with my friends. So, nights that I didn't have my son, I didn't go out to cocktail hour or whatever. I stayed in and worked my business. I gave up TV. And let me tell you, missing Desperate Housewives killed me, because that was my show, Desperate Housewives. So what did I do? I joined Desperate Housewives group on Facebook, and I would scroll through to see what was happening. Because I remember laying in bed one night when Desperate Housewives was on, Sunday nights at 9 or whatever. And I was on my laptop, and I was practically crying, I just want to watch Desperate Housewives. But, that wasn't my goal. It wasn't my priority. So I joined a group on Facebook and met people and talked to them while I found out what was going on with my favorite show. The people that I met became my friends. So instead of going out to the bar or cocktail hour or dining at night with my local friends, I talked to my friends on Facebook that I met. So I just kind of rearranged how I was spending my time and reprioritized. But, really adding some selfishness to that helped a lot with my business. And all of that helped me create consistency. And we know that's the most important thing, is consistency and time. So, if you have a lot going on in your life and you're kind of struggling, but you really, really want this, then you have to carve out the time, and you have to surround it around your priorities. I'm sure many of you have done Push with Chalene Johnson, so how to set your priorities and to focus around that. And if this business is a priority, then you'll make time with it, without a doubt. So continue to be a product of the product. That always kind of keeps me on my toes. I know I'm a fitness instructor, so if you are a fitness instructor, sometimes it's hard to also really dive into the programs. And being a fitness instructor is an awesome opportunity. Many of you may teach, you may not teach, but if you do have a desire to become a fitness instructor, of course, I highly recommend being a Beachbody instructor. Our certifications are amazing. They're all one-day trainings, 9 to 5. We host them. We host about 10 different certifications every weekend in the country, so I can definitely find one near you if you're interested in that. And being an instructor is amazing because you get to face people locally, face to face. You can really connect with them, and you're developing so many leadership skills that can roll over into your business online, or vice versa. Maybe you've developed these leadership skills online and you want to enhance them in person. Then it's great to become an instructor too. Plus, it's just more exposure for your business. Obviously, if you're teaching Insanity Live or Turbo Kick Live or Pio Live, or now we have Size Live coming up, then you can meet people who are obviously interested in Beachbody programs, connect with them outside of class on Facebook, and hey, when they can't get to the gym, you can recommend a resource for them to do it at home. The downside of becoming an instructor is obviously it's going to add something to your plate. And as you know, when you add one thing to your plate, you typically want to take something off. So if you are going to become an instructor, just be really careful and really diligent about structuring your time so you can keep your business your number one priority as your focus over teaching. Because remember, as a coach, you have the ability to reach 5,000 people than if you're teaching to a class of 10 or a class of 20. But it will definitely have a really, really positive impact on your life. So you can look into that. Beachbodycertifications.com has a list of those. And again, I'm happy to refer you. If you're close to Ohio, my next event is a PIO certification in Columbus. So you can road trip it. It's actually at an Empower conference, which is a national fitness conference that they have every year. And so I present from 9 to 5 on like a Thursday, and at 5:30, Jillian Michaels presents. Like, that's super cool. So you can go to Jillian's class after you come to mine, if you're close to Columbus. But anyway, so if you are an instructor, it's definitely a balance between teaching and working your business, plus continuing to be a product of the product. Obviously, we're all drinking Shakeology every day, and we'll never stop doing that. But what was interesting to me was I was recently in the test group for Insanity Max 30 before it came out. And I'm not going to lie, that's the first full program that I've done in years. I know I shouldn't say that. That's probably bad of me to say. But and it was because, I teach classes so much. It was really cool to get back in the shoes of what my customers are going through. And if you've done Max 30, you know that it kicks your butt. And that was a really cool experience because we got to do live Skype workouts with Sean as a part of the test group, which was good and bad because he would just, yell at us for 30 minutes to get lower and push harder and max out. But that was really interesting. So get back into a program. If you're just going here, there, you're doing on-demand variety, I encourage you to start a full 60-day or a 90-day program and participate in it as if you were your own customer. Because we have to remember the most important person that we need to coach first are ourselves. That means we need to make the time for Shakeology. We need to make time for our workouts. We need to make time for personal development. In order to be the best coach that we can to other people, we have to be the best coach that we can for ourselves. And, many of this stuff, I guess, that I'm sharing is just my personal experience and things that I've kind of learned along the way from Shalene. She has taught so much about social media. Obviously, you know that she's an entrepreneur and she's moving into her courageous confidence. She has smart success. She has marketing impact. And I've been lucky enough to attend all of those events, as well as, I get some one-on-one time too with her, which in her family, which is really, really nice. And one of the, she's taught me, again, a lot of little things about social media and about prioritizing and about being a leader and presenter and building relationships and communication and all that stuff. But the biggest thing that she's taught me, I guess the biggest impact that she's had on my life in terms of the business is about seeing the bigger picture of what we do as coaches and about the opportunity. And it's not about fitness, and the problem is, as coaches, we get out there too often and we target fitness. That's what I did because it only seemed natural. I started targeting Group X instructors and personal trainers and gyms and, anybody that was interested in fitness. And I encourage you to stop targeting fitness and just see the opportunity for what it is aside from fitness, because you don't have to be a fitness expert to be a coach, right? So the most success I started having was when I stopped looking at fitness people and I started looking at the Desperate Housewife fans and, divorcees and kids, parents who has kids with special needs. And as an opportunity to really just help other people with the opportunity itself, not just with fitness. So I'll give you another example. Last summer, my youngest niece, she's 14. She's 14 at the time. She's turned 15. She was in a really bad burn accident. I posted some of it on Facebook if any of you saw, but she was at a bonfire with some of her friends, and some girl just not paying attention threw a gas can in the bonfire, and it blew up and it knocked her back on her chair. And when she stood up, her arms and legs were on fire. So long story short, she ended up with severe burns all over her body. She was in the burn unit for like 4 days, and she's doing beautifully, by the way. She's like 100% completely healed and back into sports, and she's doing great. But at the time, that was a major event, and me not knowing like how to help or how to support, I started doing a ton of research about burn victims. And I went to groups, Facebook groups about burn victims. And it's amazing that the conversations that came with these people who I connected, who were parents or relatives of other burn victims or burn victims themselves. And I can't tell you how much opportunity has come out of that for my coaching business. And I went in there with no intention. I just went in there so I could find out how I could support my niece. And that's cool, because once you just take the pressure off of yourself and go in to meet people with no intention at all, like I said, go in there and be selfish. Like, I'm going in there for myself because I need help with this and that. And I need knowledge and education and support. Go in there with absolutely no intention of, I'm going to try to sell this person Shakeology, or I'm going to present the coaching opportunity to this person. Don't even think about that. Take the pressure off yourself. Just be social, be selfish, meet people, and be you. And you will be amazed at the awesome relationships that you start to form with other people that help tie it back into the business. But the problem is we don't see it like that, because it's not black and white, and it takes time. So you have to talk to a lot of people to kind of create that cycle where it can lead into invitations. So if nothing else, even if you're a brand new coach, you don't know where to start, I just tell my coaches, just be social. Like, just go out on social media and spend 15 minutes just liking people's statuses and commenting on their posts, and, maybe shooting a message about a recipe that they posted, or, something that you have something in common with, and just really get that ball rolling of meeting people, starting conversations, private messaging, inviting. You'll always have someone to talk to, and that's how you'll meet the people who end up being your lifers, the people who are going to end up being in this with you. So I hope that you took something from that. I hope some of the information helps. And again, reach out to me on Facebook at any time. A lot of people, will have specific questions about Shalene, or, I've worked with Sean in the past too, helping him develop the Insanity Live class. So I don't mind sharing information. I've learned so much from them. So if there's a specific topic you've heard Shalene talk about maybe on a podcast, or you've heard Sean talk about at an event, just let me know, or any tips I can give you. Just reach out. Let me know that you're a part of Team Triceps. Shoot me a message. It's facebook.com/AngieGreen11, and I'll do my best to help you. So
Awesome.
that's all I have.
Awesome. Okay, Angie. So Fiona just posted in our little chat box. It said, every word you just said is exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you so much. So.
Oh, good. I hope that helps.
Yeah. I've got a couple questions for you though.
Yeah.
If you don't mind. So When you said that your vision board or your dream board just said whatever it takes, that's obviously really inspiring, and just is kind of like that question, like, why not me? Like, just go for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was like your vision? Like, what was your full vision for your family? I mean, you were obviously struggling really hard at that time. Like, what did you see for you and Brennan, for you and your son? Like, what did you like, was he the reason why you kept pushing like every day? Like, what was that vision for you?
Well, I had, like I said, I guess I've never been really motivated by the huge house or the boat or the car, and I'm still not, but it was more, things about my family. Like I didn't want Brennan to have to grow up and be limited to one or two schools. I want him to be able to go to college where he wants to go, and I want to help with that. I have always had one dream, I will tell you, and that's being able to take my entire family on vacation. So my sister, who's a single mom, she has 3 kids. They're in high school and college. I lost my dad a couple of years ago, so it's just my mom. And, I just want to I want to be able to take my whole trip. And now, of course, Steve and his family, Steve's my fiance, we're getting married in July. And his family, we just want to take them all on a big trip, and we're doing that this year. So we're either going to do it right after the wedding, or we're going to do it in the winter of 2015. And that, that's huge to me, because that's one thing I've always wanted to do. And then of course it's about the little things. Like I got so tired of oh no, we can't order pizza tonight because I have to watch my budget. If I want to go out to eat, I want to go out to eat. I don't have to worry about that. So for me, it was more about financial security and stability. I'm still very, very conservative with my money, and doing very well now financially. I don't know. I'm conservative with everything. I'm cheap, I guess. And I didn't even want to buy a wedding dress because I was like, they're so expensive. But when it comes to my son, I want to provide for him the best I can. And I wanted a stable financial future, and I was able to do that. I'm living that now. And it only took me 5 years. That's not a long time, and I'll tell you guys the other thing too. I was the lowest ranked coach to hit Millionaire Club. And if you're not sure what that means, I will tell you that it doesn't always have to be about rank. A lot of it is about volume. So, and of course, your rank caps your volume each week for your team cycle bonuses, but don't just focus on the rank, because people strive for diamond, and sometimes they get there and they expect this big financial explosion to happen at diamond, and it doesn't. Diamond is where your business really, really starts. That's where you really know that you're starting to move forward. So get to diamond, and then once you're there, that's when you're earning the maximum team cycle bonus rate of $18. Then you look at, how can I create volume? How can I create volume with my team? And of course, you always want to focus on rank and volume, but really think about, building volume deep to help you get more team cycle bonuses every week. I mean, that's what's going to really start to bring you that residual income. So what else?
So, so that was you kind of answered my next question. I was going to ask you how many years did it take you to feel really financially stable? And you said about 5 years. With your business, you felt really stable with your business, and felt like things were going really well, and you felt secure with the income you were getting. I mean, I know it took you a long time to quit your job because you're so conservative with money, but
yeah, well, I mean, I was definitely exceeding my full-time income after 2 years. And remember, the first 4 to 6 months I became a coach, I didn't really do anything at all. So I would say within a year after that, I was definitely matching my full-time income. And then I worked as a coach, and continued to build my business for 3 more years. And so a year ago, July, I finally quit my full-time job. And you know why I didn't? I actually loved my full-time job. Most people are like, I can't wait to fire my boss and I hate my job. I loved my job. It was really fun. I worked at a rec center, and I worked with students who wanted to become instructors. So that's why I didn't quit. I liked it, but obviously it got to the point where I was like, I don't need to be working this 40-hour-a-week job. You know, even if I have to get my own insurance, it didn't matter. So I was definitely matching it, you know, within the first couple of years. And I would say I felt really stable about that. I just liked my job. So, and now I'm like, oh, I should have quit that years ago. You know, this is great being your own boss. I'm working in my PJs every day. And
Awesome. No, I agree. I mean, when you said that you were going to be in PJs, I was like, I'm not changing. So
I know, I was like, this is what you guys are getting.
I love it. Okay, so I just wanted to highlight a few things that Angie talked about, and I think it's so important that she said that we all have time. Like when Shalene called her out on, you know, that whole I'm busy excuse, I think you just really have to say, why am I here? Like, why was I attracted to Team Beachbody? Like, what is it that makes me want to do this? And for Angie, it wasn't about the big house or the big car or the boat. And I don't think it is for me either. It's just about having security and financial stability and being able to live the life that I want to live and travel and do what I want when I want to do. And I think Angie can relate to that. And you just want to do something that you love and help people. And if that's you, like you can give 20 minutes a day, you can give 30 minutes a day. There's something that you can sacrifice that's small that you can put in. And I probably don't talk about this enough with you guys, but that's how I started too. I mean, right? Like I was a brand new coach and it took me 3 months to get to Emerald. And I think once I hit Emerald and I really started to build that momentum, like Angie said, it takes 90 days to see the fruits of your labor, for your seeds to sprout. And once all that started happening, I was a diamond coach within 5 months. And Angie Green was like, who is this Sarah Tri? I mean, I remember us meeting for the first time at Summit, 4 years ago almost. And I mean, we connected instantly and I've looked up to you ever since. And it's been an amazing ride, but I've never once given up, and I've always just been consistent, like you're saying. And I think, I'm right behind you. I'm going to be in the Millionaires Club myself soon. So
I know you will.
Example that you set. And I know many coaches on Team Triceps and Team Dynamite will be there soon. So anyways, thank you so much for your leadership and being on this call. I think this will be a great one for everybody to listen to. So
you're welcome. Thanks for having me. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming on, and we'll see you guys soon. Have a good night.